Hello, and welcome to my ship. But allow me to properly introduce myself first. If you would like to take a gander at my ID card, as you can see, my name is Arashi Starseeker. I am a Lilithian from the planet Lilith, as you might have guessed by that. I'm sure none of you have actually been there, but it's quite a lovely planet. I would recommend going, but it's an incredibly dangerous planet. Who am I, though? I am the captain of the Storm Squadron shipping fleet, first ship Inazuma, and creator of said company. And I'm the pilot. And the main mechanic. And also the navigator. I also load. I kinda do just about everything on the ship. It is my ship, after all. Everyone else kinda just got roped in. I have a lot of things I plan to do as a creator. I plan to do a lot of Let's Play content, a lot of pre-recorded, actual edited Let's Play content, rather than doing a lot of streams like most people. And as you can see, I've listed a couple things here I'd really like to get to. I would love to play through Nier with everyone. I would love to go through the Halo series, Klonoa, one of my favorite games. Getting ahead of myself a little bit there. I want to do tabletop stuff as well. Shadowrun being one of my favorites. And I want to get around to reviews as well. That's something I really enjoy doing in my spare time, is reviewing and analyzing things. So hopefully that's something I can bring to this as well. I like games. I really like games. I like a lot of anime and films. Discussions, cooking. Cooking is fun. Cooking is really fun. I hate cleaning. Don't like bad games. And nothing is worse than going in the fridge, having to throw out a bunch of food. Never fun. A list of games I enjoy. God Eater is... Man, God Eater is like... It's like Monster Hunter. It's not as good as Monster Hunter, which is why I put Monster Hunter on here as well, but God Eater's really fun. It's one I really recommend. Final Fantasy Tactics, underrated, fantastic game. Tales games I think most people have heard of. Devil May Cry. I'm yet to finish one, but they're good. And as I mentioned with my content, Klonoa, which is one of the most underrated platformers I have played. I also play a lot of fighting games. I'm not particularly great at fighting games, but it's something I really enjoy and I really hope to bring to the channel as well, along with Armored Core and other mech games as well. GBO 2. One of my favorite games right now. I'm hoping to get that in here as well. And classic arcade games like Metal Slug and whatnot are all things that I very much enjoy. On the tabletop side of things, I do play a lot of D&D. I've played some Call of Cthulhu. I'd love to play more, but the books are pricey. I played a little bit of Rogue Trader, which is a Warhammer-themed RPG. I played a couple of different Warhammer RPGs, actually. It would take up a lot more of the slide if I put down everything. Shadowrun is one of my favorites. Golden Sky Stories is a tabletop RPG not a lot of people have heard of that I would love to bring to the channel as well. That's more of a slice of life system, which is really fun. Moving away from the actual RPGs, I play a good bit of Weiss Schwarz, which is a anime card game. For those who haven't heard of it, I would love to bring that to the channel as well. I've played a good bit of Warhammer, though not as much as I'd like since it's expansive. Aeronautica Imperialis I picked up recently, which is another Warhammer variant. It is a aircraft-themed Warhammer game, which is really cool. And X-Wing, the tabletop game, as opposed to the old PC game. I'm unfortunately yet to play the old PC game, but I'll get to that eventually. I like Star Wars, as you might have figured out by the fact I put X-Wing on the last slide. I really like the original series Star Trek films. They are very cool, shall we say, turn of an era in a way, where Star Trek suddenly was able to be taken more serious, apart from the couple of silly moments in the films. But I'll leave you to watch those if you haven't figured that out. Dredd is good. Blade Runner is good. Both good cyberpunk dystopia films. But moving away from the heavier stuff, I really like Monsters, Inc. Easily my favorite Pixar film. And I decided to throw Sleeping Beauty on here as well, since that's actually my favorite classic Disney princess story. As odd as that may or may not sound, it's a cool story. I was contemplating not putting anime films on here, but I did anyway. Sword of the Stranger is great if you haven't seen it. Good old samurai film. Ghost in the Shell. A heavy film, but fun. Skycrawlers, also very heavy film, but very good. I recommend those. They're good films. And this is why I almost didn't put anime films on there, is because I went and put anime on here too. I love Gundam. The Mobile Suit Gundam series is one of my favorite anime series. And at risk of sounding like an annoying Gundam fan, specifically UC stuff, I got drawn into the actual Universal Century Timeline stuff. So that's the original Gundam series, Zeta Gundam, moving on to the events of Char's counterattack and stuff like that, rather than the things like Wing or Seed, stuff like that. It was the 1 Year War storyline that really drew me into the series. So some of my favorites, of course, being, as a result, First Gundam, as I have listed there, 8th MS Team, Thunderbolt, which, if I remember correctly, is a non-canon work, but it's really good, and War in the Pocket, just a fantastic, very sad series, but one of the best series I've ever watched. A lesser-known anime I really like is Sound of the Sky. That would take a long time to explain, so I'm not going to go into detail, but it's a great series. School Live, a good old zombie survival series. I think most people have seen Madoka Magica at this point, but if you haven't, you should. It's very good. Cowboy Bebop, another good classic. Gunslinger Girl seems like one that I don't see a lot of people talk about. It's a pretty sad one, and I enjoy it. And Kino's Journey, which is just a really interesting series to sit through and watch. I recommend it for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Manga, I specifically put this tab on here because I didn't feel like I could put Fullmetal Alchemist on an anime list, because I like both Fullmetal Alchemist anime series. The manga is the best telling of Fullmetal Alchemist. I highly recommend it for anybody who hasn't watched it. Tsubasa was a neat watch. Read, as well. And École du Ciel is an interesting one that I haven't finished yet, admittedly, but it is a Gundam manga, and it's a neat one. I dabble in light novels a little bit as well. One of my favorites is Wandering Witch, Journey of Elena. Really cool series, really fun, very similar to Kino's Journey. I think Kino's Journey is a better series, but they are both very good series. And the Gun Gale spin-off, SA Alternative Gun Gale Online, it's a good series. I really like it. And Clockwork Planet, I didn't read all of it, but it is an interesting read. I really enjoy the setting for Clockwork Planet. It's a planet made of clockwork, as the name implies, and it's interesting. I eat a lot. I like a lot of food. I like specifically New York style pizza. I will eat anything, but there's something special about good New York style pizza. Pasta, easy to make. I enjoy it. Hamburgers, I make my own burgers, and I love my own burgers. Same with me. Actually, I cook a lot of stuff on my own. I mentioned I like cooking earlier. I do a lot of cooking. My hamburgers are... Well, I think my hamburgers are great. I love my meatloaf. I like my fried chicken. And I like just about anything I can throw on a charcoal grill. I understandably don't get to charcoal a lot out here in space. But every time I go back to Earth, I try to take an opportunity to cook a little bit on a nice grill. It's always a good time, good thing to come home to. Also, on favorite foods, does scotch count as a food? I like scotch. I like whiskey. If I'm gonna drink, I like a good scotch or a bourbon. It's good stuff. If those don't count, maybe cocktails? Because you do have to prepare cocktails? That's gotta count, right? I don't drink much, by the way, but I do like good drinks. Anyways, I have a couple goals as a creator that I'm hoping I can get done. One of the things I really, really want to do is I want to be able to do daily GBO2 videos for as long as GBO lasts for, so to speak. It's a fun game that I've spent a good bit of time with. It's my favorite of the current Gundam games. I could go a lot into Gundam games. I think I'll save that for more of the main content, but simply put, we don't get simulator games out of Gundam anymore, and GBO2 is one of the few that still has that simulator feel to it. So I hope to bring it to you guys, show it to you guys, hopefully get more players in. I would really like more people to play with. I really want to create a podcast. I've been bouncing around a couple different ideas for what style to do. You might even see that one sooner than later. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. I want to release a song cover. At least one, maybe a couple. I don't have a lot of experience with singing, and it's something I would really like to actually get some experience with. I'd like to make an animated short. Again, I don't have a ton of experience with animation. Actually, the little bits of animation in that video you saw earlier is some of the first animation work I've done. Don't know if that shows, but I hope to get better. I hope to be able to eventually make a full-on short film. We'll see how long that takes. I want to create my own video game. This is something I've wanted to do for a really long time and haven't really been able to get around to. And I would love to show that to you guys if I ever manage to get that off the ground. I can give you guys a sneak peek. I'd let you guys be some of the first people to see it. I'd like to release a tabletop RPG. I've actually got one currently in the works that I would love to finish and show off and share with you guys. I think that'd be really cool. And I'd really like to learn Japanese. This might be unsurprising considering VTuber, but one of the big things I would like to do if I were able to learn Japanese is there's a lot of very, very cool Japanese games that never made it to the West, and so a lot of people never saw. One of the big ones that always comes to mind when I think about it is the Macross game for the PS2. It is just fascinating, but a lot of people have never gotten the chance to see because they just never made it over, and I would love to be able to, in Let's Play style, show some of these to a market that never really got to see them. I think that would be really fun. So, in conclusion, as the captain of the ship, I have a lot of duties, but between those duties, I'm a huge gamer and nerd, and I'm incredibly excited to share my hobbies and interests with you all. I hope you're all as excited as I am, and I thank you for spending the time to watch this through to the end. I know it's probably a little bit iffy, but thank you for being here. I hope you get to know me a lot better as I actually release stuff and you get to see what I do and what I like. So again, thank you for being here, and that'll be it for this. Signing out.